What's going on, y'all? This is Jermaine Johnson of the Jermaine Johnson Show, and welcome to another episode. This week we are having a conversation with my good friend, Mr. Hamilton Jacobs, one of my good constituents right down here in, District 70, but it's about to be the new District 52 that's going on down here. But we're going to be talking about some good stuff today. Just having a conversation about young leadership and what that is like to try to, I guess, get a seat at the table and everything. But before I get started, this is being brought to you by the Arena SC. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, be involved with what we got going on. We are a progressive network talking about the future of politics and things like that. But we all talk about some sports up in here because we know the Lakers is the most amazing team that's out there. But without further ado, Hamilton, Mr. Jacobs, my good brother, man. Tell the people who you are, what you do. Just give some background about yourself.
Okay, first of all, let me say, Representative Dr. Jermaine Johnson. Listen, thank you so much for having me on. My name is Hamilton Jacobs. I do live in the Southeast area. First and foremost, I'm a husband. I'm a father. And I like to say that just because my family means so much to me. But also, um,
Some
I
space to
live
knock you out if you don't mention her.
right. Well, I like to be what they say. Happy wife, happy life.
That's
Think
right. That's right.
that's the way they say it. But they say happy husband, no fussing. So
I ain't never heard that one, man. I'm gonna use that one tonight.
yeah, right. But no, under the Bridge Over Foundation, we've had for the past good bit of years since our conception, a focus on gun violence, trying to prevent gun violence, trying to help young people and youth to stay out of the streets, do something positive. So that's really been my heart's desire, just to see the youth thrive. The name of our organization is Bridge Over Foundation. And our goal and our mission is to create a bridge of success to every individual, not only the youth, but all individuals in every aspect of life. And so we really want to be a connector. We want to be a bridge. And on my spare time, when I'm not working with Bridge Over Foundation, I am a road to Women's Preferred. And so, in a nutshell, that's what I give all of my time to, just trying to give back to my community, trying to be a staple in the community as a young man. I know we're talking about young men or young people in politics a little bit today, but just trying to do my part to be a good citizen.
Yeah, and if y'all didn't know, he is also I think he's the youngest member on the Recreation Commission. I think
Yes,
you are,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, and I didn't
Yeah,
even
see,
say
he
that.
talk about the Richland County Recreation
Right.
Commission where
Listen,
he's doing amazing work as well. So go
yes,
ahead,
sir.
tell us about the Richland County Recreation Commission.
Yes, sir. I'm a commissioner with the Richland County Recreation Commissioner, as Representative Johnson already said. I am the youngest, I believe the youngest commissioner currently on the board, and I think probably the only one that has been sworn in to date. And we're doing some marvelous things. We have a great executive director there that's doing a lot of work. But I'm just glad that I'm able to be in a position to help him make a lot of things come or happen for Richland County. Um, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah. So before Hamilton was the youngest person on the Recreation Commission, I knew another guy that was also the youngest person on the Recreation
Right,
Commission.
right, right, right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I served some years on the
you got to
Recreation
cut your teeth.
Commission for all those who are listening or watching, and that's where I really I guess got my start in a whole bunch of things and being involved with a lot of things that was going on not only across Richland County but across the state. Man, appreciate you being on here right now, man.
Yeah,
But I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out the heavy topic.
yeah,
A couple of days ago, we lost two young people in our community. And this has been something that's been going on. We've been seeing lots of shootings, lots of murders. There's been lots of things that have been happening. Of course, that's not all that's, our community is not all negative, but this is just the most pressing issue that I've been seeing. The other day, I went and I sat down with some of the family members of the victims.
mhm.
And, I just wanted to talk to them and just see how they were feeling, offer my condolences and that type of thing. But I know you've been out here doing the same type of stuff, man. And I mean, honestly, I don't know what to do. I mean, I know you saw a post of mine where I'm
Yeah.
like, listen, we're trying all different types of things, man. Like we're trying everything. We're throwing everything. We're throwing what I don't know what to do, man.
It's a tough situation. Like I've said in the past, and even I saw you say it. We can't throw money at this problem. We got all hands on deck, and I've told a lot of my friends and family and people that I'm connected to, even in social media, that there's no one size fits all solution to this problem. Man, we have so many people working on every end, but I have hope for my community. We're going to continue to do the work, but just honestly, I don't see it stopping.
You-
Um, Even
Is this a
today,
parent? Is this a parent problem, man? Like, or is it
I
is that
can't
some of
really
it?
I can't really blame the parents because, it's some great parents out there that just have children that decided to go another way. I can remember when I was young and, I grew up in a two-parent home. My dad's a preacher, I'm a preacher. My mom had a good job, both of them had good jobs, but I still did, uh, made silly decisions, never trying to take somebody's life, but I had my time where I did things that I knew that I was supposed to do. So I really can't blame it on parents. This is just a different generation. I really believe, if I had to be honest, I believe a lot of it has to do with social media.
Yeah,
I
heck
think
yeah.
social media is really the biggest Achilles heel that we have right now, especially when it's relating to our youth and to our children.
I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. We were also talking about the parent situation, about some of the parents and that type of thing. And it kind of came in. It was like, yeah, you can't blame all of the parents because some of the parents, I mean, some of these kids come from good households. I remember one kid that I was trying to mentor down here, who's deceased now, but he came from a good home. He just
Mhm.
made the wrong decisions and wanted to be with the in crowd and wanted to be that cool kid, wanted to talk about I'll die for my respect, that whole type of thing. But then also there are other parents. There are also other ones uh, that ignore the signs of a gang member that's in their home. They ignore
Right,
those signs. They completely or they don't think it's a big deal. They just say it's teens just getting into mischief or that
right,
type of thing.
right,
Uh,
right,
I mean those are the type. I think those are the type of parents that I have a problem with. The ones
right,
that are just ignoring the facts that are in the face. I mean, you see some of these kids that are doing some of these crazy things, and you hear parents say, "Oh, that's not my baby, not my baby, not my well, my baby
right,
would never do that." But
right.
every picture that's being posted of your baby has guns in the dang pictures.
Yeah,
And you're like,
guns.
"They're not
Yeah,
my baby," but your son or your daughter is in the picture, posted up, throwing up gang signs with a gun in his hand and money in the other hand, and all the other. And it's like, did you really think your son or your daughter was not involved in that lifestyle? And every picture, every document you can see, he
right.
got that stuff on.
And parents do have to accept accountability when they're allowing their children to do things that they know they're not supposed to do. I check my sons. I have a 17-year-old. I have four sons, and my oldest is 17. I check his room. I check his drawers. I make sure that he don't got any, weapons or anything like that. The clothes that he tries to wear, the colors that he wear. I always have a conversation with him to find out, okay, what's going on. I ask him about his day at school. I ask him about his friends. It's a lot of different things that I do to make sure that he is on the straight and narrow and doing the right thing so that he can be a productive citizen. But there are parents that allow their children to grow too fast and be grown
Mm-hmm.
when they know that they need to hold them accountable and stop some of the things that they do. I think there's a lot of factors. There's so many things that can go into it because some parents are scared of the truth.
Yeah.
So they're afraid to say something because they feel that their children will retaliate at whatever it is, or they'll be combative, or they don't know because they allowed them to grow and get so old and do the stuff that they know they're not supposed to do, to a fact where they're out of control. Now you can't control them. Now you can't tell them anything because you've allowed them to do so much from you, whether it was because you was out and you was living life, or because you thought it was cute at one time.
Yeah.
I never when I was with my sons when they were children, I never allowed my children to hit me and laugh at it or curse and think it's funny. But nowadays you'll see. whether you've been in a store, whether you're watching people raise their children. I see it a lot where the kid hit their parent and they're all they laugh or shrug it off. But those are bad habits that
Yeah.
become bigger bad habits.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
don't correct it, if you don't correct it at a young age, it's very hard to correct at an older age. And so
Yeah.
my right now, what I'm trying to do is start intervention and prevention at a young age for kids, even through our organization. We're trying to start younger so we can get them before they get to the 11, 12-year-old stage. And it's hard to turn them from the habits that they've developed.
Yeah, well, I have to tip my hat to you all, man, because as a young black father that is really involved in their kid's life and doing these things. I mean, we I know your kids personally, man, and know your kids personally. You have some respectful young men that are going to be coming out here, man, and I have to tip my hat to you for
Thank you.
just for doing the job, and we need more men out here that are doing this type of thing. I made a post where I shared like a screenshot the other day. I tagged you in it about
Yes, sir.
hearing that crazy narrative that black men aren't involved in their children's lives, and that type of thing that we're not around. Man, I tell you, I know way more involved black fathers than I know deadbeats, man. I mean, like, and the deadbeats that we know, we hold them accountable. It's like what I'm saying, we talk trash about them. You know what I'm saying? So
And I tell deadbeats, whether you're a relative, whether you're a friend, whether you're an associate, I don't want to be connected to you. If you
yeah,
can't take care of your children, I don't care how good of a person you may feel that you are. I don't care what you have. You can have all the money in the bank, but if you can't take care of your children, you can't take care of your family, and you out doing everything else, that's not a friend that I need. No disrespect, but I'd rather be connected to black men that I know are doing the right thing for their families, for their children, because it's so paramount, it's so big that we are involved in. One of the greatest comments that I got from a friend of mine was that he saw my son with some other children that were at a restaurant, and all the other children, it might have been a school field trip or something like that. He said all the other children was cursing and doing stuff. But he said your son was just standing alone, being respectful, got his food, and he left out of the restaurant with no problem. And I was like, man, it
well,
made me
how that make
feel
you feel? Well, I would have been like this.
good. It made me feel great because I knew that I had raised him to do the right thing. And so many times you hear people say, "Oh, your son is something. Your children something else when you're not around. Your son is something else when you're not
Mhm.
around." But for me to get that report back saying, he was one of the ones that was behaving himself. He was one of the people that were being respectful. He wasn't cursing. That really made me feel good. Now
Yeah.
children gonna be children, but for me to hear that from another adult that did not have to tell me that, it made me feel really good.
Yeah, and Mr. Jacobs, brother Jacobs, he has instilled so much confidence in his sons that they actually think that they can beat me in basketball. Now,
Right.
I don't know why he gave him that much confidence, but you know what I'm saying?
That, all of my sons are competitive. All of my sons are competitive, but my last two, Prince and Tootie, PJ, those two, they don't think anybody can beat them in nothing. And listen, they hate to lose. When they lose, I mean, you're gonna know, like, 'cause they're gonna be somewhere pouting, head down. They're gonna be upset. But I'm telling
Yeah,
you, they have a lot of confidence. They think they can beat me, but nobody has beat me yet. So I'm still on top for a little bit. And the two oldest, they getting tall. So we're gonna see
yeah.
what happens in a little bit.
Yeah. One of the things that we both have in common also is that we have both run for office.
Yeah,
And we run for office multiple times, as a matter of fact. At this point I've ran, I don't know, 3 times, I think.
yeah, you've been
So
successful.
we both it's tough, man. It's no, it's tough, bro. It's tough.
You've been
What is that
successful.
experience like? What's that experience like for like a young person? Because I know my story, and I can tell you my story, man. Like people in the church turned their back when I decided to run the first time. You know what I'm saying? People in the community just turned their back. Like leaders, they turn their back. And that's one of the problems that I have with young black men in particular is that when we decide, they say they need more leaders like us, and then when we step up to do it, then everybody's like, I don't see you. I'm like, man, like you encouraged me to do this to stand up, and then when I did it, you not acting you didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? What's
Man,
your experience like, bro?
man, my experience was horrible. My experience was horrible because when I did it, and I had such a pure heart, I just wanted to help. I just wanted to make a difference. I wanted to see everybody win. And so quickly, because it was political, it turned into something that it wasn't. I had friends and family that were supporting the other candidate. They stopped talking to me, and I never changed. And that's one thing that anybody that watched this, I want to encourage you to be the same. Don't change. Don't change your attitude. Don't get mad. Don't get upset. But I never changed. I always was respectful. I always was nice. But I really watched a lot of people kind of do the same thing with you, turn that back on me. And I was okay with you deciding who you wanted to vote for. That's your decision, and that's your opinion. But you don't have to be rude. I had people that was rude. I had people that wouldn't even speak. I had people that would see me coming and turn away. Like if I'm in the grocery store, they walk down another aisle just so they didn't have to pass me. And it really hurt me. But more so, I was for me, because people were trying to pull out, different lies and the things that happen in political races. Um, for me, I was more concerned about my children and my wife and my
Yes.
children, because and man, it even it made me feel get a little emotional now, but
Yeah.
I was worried about them because I had subjected them to that because
Yeah.
I wanted to be a person of what's the best word? I wanted to support my community. I
Yeah.
wanted to be an elected official so that I can make a difference in my community, so I could
Yeah.
really help
Integrity.
children.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something positive, but I subjected them to so much negativity and so many people and them having to hear kids here in schools, oh, your dad doing this. Well, my mama said this, or my grandmama said this. And, them knowing the person that I am, and then having to hear what other people are saying or what other people think, it was an awakening. But, thanks be to God that I have a strong family. We have a
Yeah.
strong bond and a strong connection. So it really wasn't, anything that was detrimental, but we did feel the effects of it. Even now, in the seat that I sit in now, I have a strong wife. And if anybody gonna fight for me, I know she's gonna fight for me.
She got your back, bro.
She has my back. She has my back. And I love that about her because we kind of balance the two. I'm kind of soft spoken. Um, it takes me a lot to really get to a point where I'm like, okay, that's enough. But
Yeah.
my wife is literally like on go at all
Yeah.
times. So she's always gonna protect me. She's always gonna cover me. And I have to tell her sometimes just don't worry about it. Well, another compliment that I received during the political race from a major figure in our state was oftentimes, yeah, when you're in political races, especially the type race that I was in, that was kind of ugly situation. Yeah, the one that divided our community
Hmm.
a great deal, not at any fault of mine, but just what the scenario and the situation was during that time. They said you didn't create any enemies. And they said a
Yeah.
lot of times in political races, you create enemies, not me
Yeah.
in particular, but the opposition usually has enemies in it. There's a negative connotation talked about. But they say, you didn't create any enemies and people actually admired the way that you ran your race. And so that was a
Yeah.
good thing. Nobody likes to lose, of course.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody got to win and somebody have to lose, you know. And even now, I support the candidate that won, and anything that needs to be done or any help that they call, I always respond. I always aid. Some things may not be seen, but they know, and
Yeah.
so it's a good
I
thing.
tell you, I've tried hard. I've tried hard the whole time that I've been in office to never say anything negative about any opposition. To never, I mean, to never have any of that type of rhetoric. To always speak a unifying message.
Right,
Because we have a unique community, man. We've got a real unique community in which it doesn't matter the district line or whatever it is. It's like everybody's a cousin, everybody down here, everybody's
I'm telling
family,
you,
everybody's in-law. I mean, everybody is related to everybody down here. So it really
that's
doesn't
right.
matter if you say something bad about one person, it's gonna get back to that other person,
You better
and
know
because
it.
everybody related down here. So I always wanted to speak a unifying message. In particular, my last election, when I saw that there was a like family members would have my sign in the yard, and then across the street there'd be a sign of another opposition in there, and I'm just like, oh my God, man, like this is insane.
Right.
What we're seeing down here, man.
Man, that's what happened with me. I literally would go places and you would see my sign and another person's my sign on another person's sign, my sign on another person's sign, like literally going down the road and going into these various communities. But yeah, politics is not for the weak. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
It's not for the weak. If you go into it with the right mindset and you go into it knowing your reasons or your why, you know,
Yeah.
then you can get through it. But if you go in it with any other type of hidden agenda, you will be found out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, in politics, they do all this running and working and all of this to try to get the seat, and then you see them vanish off into the sunset if they don't get it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, what happened? You were so motivated to do this community work. You were so motivated to do what you do. What happened? But if you're really about what you're talking about, you'll stay there, you'll be there. People still
You'll
will
be
see,
here.
yeah, they'll see the effects of what you were really trying to do, and they'll see your heart. And that's the major thing for me. I always want people to see my heart and what I do. I always try to tell people that I'm a servant leader. Now, it's no big me and little you, it's not no I, but I believe if we work together, that's the one reason why I commend you and all the stuff that you do every time that I get an opportunity to, or if I'm in front of a community, no matter where I am, I'll try to commend you because I see the work that you do behind the scenes, and I see how you really try to help the community behind the scenes. I even got people calling me now like I'm your secretary because of the connection. But I mean, that's the type of leader that I want to be. I want people to be able to reach out to me and know that I'm going to do all I can to get to a solution and try to help. Whether that's in a big elected official seat or whether it's just in a small servant seat. I want to be able to have people trust that I'm gonna make a difference.
Yeah, one of the things. So I actually just wrote an article the other day. It might be coming out this week or next week, something like that. But it's about has the political apparatus, has it left behind the origins in which how it got started. And what I mean by that is that members like Congressman Clyburn, John Lewis,
Hmm.
Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, they all got started like based on a grassroots type of thing. Like they was in the streets. They was in the
Right,
streets doing like
right,
the stuff. They was the agitators. They was the boat rockers. Like they was doing what they had to do.
right,
And they didn't care about the positions, but some of the positions actually, some of the things that they did in the streets, in the grassroots, actually elevated them to elected offices,
right,
right? Like John Lewis and that type of
right.
stuff. But for some reason, we're not seeing that today. Today we're seeing grassroots people who are pushed aside, and they are they are shunned, they're blackballed. They're like, oh no, you're unserious or you can't get involved.
You're seeing
It's
money
why we're
run
seeing that.
everything. You're seeing money run everything. Um, it's because I don't think, if I can be honest, this is honest, free space. I don't think people really respect people at the grassroots level like that. You can do all the work that you can. You can reach out to as many people, as much community service. You can fight for justice, but it's just right now I'm seeing that people really don't respect it. You know, in our day and age, negativity is louder than positive. And that's
Yeah,
in every aspect, whether it be social media, when trouble comes, when you're talking about people, the negative always stands out. It's always louder than the positive that's going on, no matter what. You can have a good person that make a mistake and they could have did 1,000 right things and one wrong thing, but that wrong thing is going to be
yeah,
louder than all the 1,000 right things that they did. And so you're really seeing people that to me, that from what I'm seeing, you're really seeing people that have social status. You're seeing people that have um, a large amount of relationships that are financially stable or wealthy or connected to the people that are. You really seeing them have a greater advantage than the people that are in actuality working to get everything done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's backwards to me. It's very backwards to me. But
I'm trying to figure out how to change that though. Like I'm trying to figure out how to like I hate to say like I honestly hate to say this, but I have been a rare breed. Like I am a rare breed. It's something that I have not seen like across the state. And I'm trying to figure out how to I'm trying to figure out how to multiply myself. You know, how to create more of me because I mean I'm a rare breed, honestly, and what I mean by a rare breed is that I was one of those small time grassroots, like just involved in little different things, who took on the political apparatus, who took on the establishment, and actually won. Like it actually won.
I'm hoping, I am hoping that one day, if the Lord leads me to run for elected position, sometime down the road, I'm hoping that my works will be seen. But it also is really a scare because this is our reality,
Yep.
and the people that's really doing the work, the people that are actually in the trenches trying to get things done, they're not the popular pick.
Yep.
And so I don't know how we change it, but I just believe that's the generation that we're in. Money and status is what people like. That's what they
Yeah.
love. That's what they're drawn to. No matter how good you're doing the job, no matter what you're doing. If you flashy, if you look good, if you know,
Yep.
if you say, if you can talk like you from up north or something,
Yeah.
you know, if you listen. If you if you're slick enough, then you can win. If
You
you
can make it.
slick-
You can make it happen.
yeah, you can make it happen. I mean, it's like we have no, to me, I've seen that is low. I'm not gonna say all people because there's a lot of people that do have integrity, but integrity is low in politics.
Yes. Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm seeing everybody use each other. Somebody might be talking about somebody one day and the next day they geeking it.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep. Yep. Well, how did this happen? Yep.
yeah, like
Well,
what?
I got I got some stories, man. I got so many
I'm telling
stories.
you, and I'm telling you, like I know you got stories, but I'm telling you stuff that I've seen firsthand, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, because I don't work that way. You know,
Yep.
I love everybody. I don't like everybody, but I love everybody. I show love. I'm always cordial. But if I'm in a place where I don't agree with another person that I know I don't agree, we're not hitting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll speak to your pastor because I'm a cordial person. I'm always gonna be nice. I'm always gonna shake your hand, and just because that's what type of heart that I have. But if I know we ain't on the same playing field and our standards don't align, we ain't kicking it. We ain't out. We ain't going to get no wings. I don't want to go to the sports bar. I don't want to do nothing. You know, and I mean that's just me, but I've seen it, and I think
Some of the things I'm
people.
experiencing now is that people who didn't agree with me in the very beginning or weren't with me in the very beginning are now circling back
Yeah,
to
that's
now agree with me.
that's gonna happen too because nobody want to ever be on the wrong side of history, and
Mm-hmm.
so we gonna hate you, and then when you win, oh, I need to be on your side because I'm gonna need you too, and listen,
Yeah.
that's that's just a part of the game, that's a part of the game. I remember when I was running, when I first was running, and me and you had a conversation, and I said, man, all these people talking about me, they doing this, they saying this. You told me very, very relaxed. You said, you got to know, if you win, these people going to be your constituents and you're going to have to serve it. And that was like, I mean, I already knew it, but in my heart, I'm still like, wow. That's crazy. Like these same
The
the
same
same
people.
because naturally your natural instinct, I don't care who it is, your natural instinct is to get your black book and know all these people that was going to get you and say, all right, when you call me, my phone will be dead.
That's
Or
right.
it's gonna be
That's
busy,
right.
it's gonna be on D&D. And I've already weathered that storm because I'm helping numerous amount of people that have did me wrong. So that's not my reality. But the truth of the matter is that's a hard pill to swallow. And
Yep.
that's for anybody else. And so, there's some people come on here and say, no, I just know that's a part of the game. You lying. Because if somebody talking about their family, they talking about you like a dog, they lying on you, you're not going to want to help that person. That's just your
That's right.
natural instinct. I don't want to help anybody that's smacking me in my face. We're not trying to be friends.
Right. But a true servant leader and a servant leader with a servant's heart cannot hold a grudge.
And how old
You
is
can't.
you can't. You can't. And I found that to be true in my situation. Like I said, I'm helping people to this day that
Yeah. Yeah.
weren't very fond of me a year or 2 years ago. But it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yep. Bro. I'm right there with you. I know I'm right there with you.
And
So
the best thing that I get out of it, I know you probably gonna go to the next topic, but the best thing I get out of that though is, like you said, I didn't hold a grudge, but it makes me feel good to see them win. You know what I'm saying? Even though that sounds backwards, I'm just that type of person. I don't. Life is too short to hold grudges against people, to hate people, those hardness, hatred in your heart, to walk around upset. And, I don't got time for that. I don't, every
yep.
time I see you, I don't be like, oh, that's an op. I don't want to talk to
Yep.
that person. Like, I'm like having to be stress free.
Yep.
I want to live good. I want to enjoy my family. I want to take trips. I want to help people. That's all I want to do.
You want a soft life, like they saying that. I want a soft life.
that's it. That's it, man. That has been, I think, since I've been a kid. All I've wanted to do is help people, man, in every aspect. And I tell people this all the time, and they don't believe me, but since elementary school, I have always been a leader. From elementary school, a spelling bee champion in my school, went on to represent at the district, and middle school.
You can
Yeah,
spell some words, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't give me to the test right now because I got my
Hey,
phone.
we need to organize an adult spelling bee. That's what we need to do. To humble some
We really
folks.
need to. That would be fun. Like in eighth grade, I was my student vice president. I was an ambassador to Africa in the seventh grade for the original one. When I was in high school, I was my senior class president. When I was on the band, I was over our band. I composed music. On every level of my life, I've always been a leader. And so I just
Wow.
think that, I think that sometimes I always have a conversation with people whether, are they natural born leaders and then are they developed and cultivated leaders? Some people are just natural born leaders. Like they know what to do. And then there's others, they may be good leaders, but they were developed and a natural born leader still developed, but they were kind of pushed into being a leader. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And I think it's a difference sometimes. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I got a weird way of thinking.
Nah, man. Look, I agree with you, man. I didn't. I couldn't think of like never in my imagination in my life did I think that I was being prepared through all the hardship and things that I've done, that I was being prepared to hold this position that I am now, to where when I speak, some people listen. Like it's insane to me to say that. And one of my Republican colleagues actually said that. He was like, he was speaking about me to somebody else, and he was like, Jermaine is one of the guys in the General Assembly that when he speaks, they listen. Like people
Right,
actually listen to what I'm saying. He said
right,
it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. He said when Jermaine speaks, you listen.
right.
And I'm like, dang, that is like, to have that. It's like, dang, that's crazy. But I don't think I always had that. So whatever was happening in my life has been developing me to come to this position to be able to speak, and people
Right.
will actually listen to what I'm saying. Because I can assure you, there are people in that General Assembly that when they speak, people get up and walk out. People continue talking loud. I mean, it is insane to watch some of the people get up there and try to say something, and how they are drowned out by the noise that is going on in the General Assembly. And they say I'm just not one of those people that when I speak, people actually they sit, they pay attention, they look at me, they give me their undivided attention. I'm like, man, that is, that's crazy when you actually get to see it in person.
But that just shows they know what type of person you are, and they know they know your skill set, but more so they know your works. I mean, sometimes we rather listen to a person what we know that they work in the community. We know their works. We've seen their work. We've actually seen them and the results of what they've done. Uh, opposed to a person that's just talking to talk. Blowing hot air.
Yep.
Like, what have you done?
Yep.
What
Yep.
have you
Where you
done
been?
to gain my respect? And if you hadn't done anything, I'm gonna go to the next conversation with my counterpart to the side of me, and we're gonna talk about something else because you hadn't shown me that you're really about everything you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we hop off here, man, the last thing I wanted to kind of cover and mention, we just saw an attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump.
Hmm.
I've got a lot of thoughts and feelings towards the situation. On one hand, I've got all my political disagreements with former President Trump.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, I have to sympathize and empathize with him because he is now a member of the club that nobody wants to be a part of, and that is the trauma from gun violence.
Right.
Um, and I have to look at him and say, man, listen, like I know, and I just finished writing an article about this one also today, where I'm talking about, if somebody, if you are a victim and you have some trauma from gun violence, you may not see it. Even some of your closest people may not see it, but it does change you. It
Right.
changes you. It's gonna, some of your behavior is gonna be different. Some of your thoughts are gonna be different. Some of your movements are gonna be different. You may not notice it. Other people may not notice it, but it is going to change. I mean, it took me
Right.
years to be able to sleep to sleep peacefully. Like it took me years to be able to sleep peacefully without, my wife she used to call me a ninja
Hmm.
because any slight movement in the room or in the bed, I was waking up and jumping up, and it was like some
Right.
trauma that I had,
Right.
And my older brother, he was murdered, so I
Right.
know what gun violence does to a family, and I know Trump is probably dealing with some stuff right now, knowing how close he was to losing his life, and also, the family of Corey Campanero, what his family is going through right now. We're saying these claims that the thing was staged and it was a hoax and all this other crap that's going on, and I can assure you that the victims' families, they don't feel that way. They don't feel it was staged. They don't feel it was because they still have to deal with the effects of
Right.
what's going on with this situation.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this stuff, man?
Listen, I have to lean towards exactly what you just said, but even more so what President Biden said, that there's no place for gun violence. There's no place for assassination attempts. There's no place for this in politics, and especially for a former president. We may not agree with everything that Trump says, everything that he does, but everybody's life is precious.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people, a lot of different people allude to different scenarios where they say, well, what was they thinking about gun violence with the school shootings and with this
yeah,
and with that? But it doesn't matter. Nobody's life should be put in jeopardy in that way. And like you said, so many people are affected by this thing. I can remember when I was in property management for 10 years. And one of those years I experienced where in an apartment, it was a double homicide. And I was the first one to arrive on the scene. And so when I arrived on the scene, I was on the phone with EMS, and they were telling me, can you do CPR? Can you do this? What's going on? And literally, I had to watch that. There were things that I had to do that what made me uncomfortable. I still wanted to do what I had to do as a property manager, but those are times that haunt me at sometimes.
yeah,
Those are times that I remember and remember the effects of everybody, the trauma, the anxiety that people had, how everything was chaos, how people were running around, and people were yelling and screaming, and crying, and I can only imagine in a setting like that how many people that were around like bullets. I'm telling you now, if a bullet fire I'm gonna be hysterical. I'm gonna be running. I'm gonna be looking for my family. I'm gonna be wondering, is everybody good? And so it's so many things and so many emotions that you go through in that moment. And I can only imagine, like I said, he's still somebody's father.
Yep.
He still has people that he influences. He has people that he's connected to. And so nobody deserves that. I know we may not like him as a person, but nobody deserves an attempt on that line. And we have to, as America, we have to be better. Um, I'm just seeing so much. I don't know. There's another word for separation. It's not coming to me right now, but so much division. There's
Yeah.
so much division from the city to the
Yep.
local to the state to the
Yep.
national levels. And we all have to figure out how to bring this thing together. And I think like once we can come together on those levels, then we can possibly see some change, even in gun violence, even in our youth, even in some of the things that we experience on a day-to-day basis. But until we can come together, it's always going to be out of way, and it's just on. It's getting worse. Like assassination attempt on a president,
Yeah.
on a former president. That is
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's so many unturned stones that it's just it's crazy. I sympathize, and I'm definitely praying that he recovers and does everything the right way. And that the security is beefed up more, so we won't have
Hmm.
to experience this again. Because now we have to think about, just like we have in our community, retaliation.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So people don't understand how many triggers that is set off, whether they say it was staged, whatever the case may be. Now we have to secure our seated president even more
Yep.
so
Yep.
because of that event, because retaliation. People
Yep.
thinking, oh, they want to do this to Trump, so we don't do this to Biden.
Yep.
The
Yep.
same thing that we experience in our community. Oh, they did that to my cousin, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get their cousin. I'm gonna get their
Yep.
family.
Yep.
They
Yep.
don't
I
understand that
just talked about that. Yep.
these effects of gun violence are real. I had a conversation with someone I know that is that has ties to they live in a positive life, but they have a ties to um some people that are in those gun violence communities that can really try their best to put a stop to what's going on. And I want to figure out the best way to say that. But they told me today that they had a conversation with some people in the community, and they said it's going to get worse with these young people because the young people are not even listening to us. The young
It's
people
so
aren't
sad,
even
man.
listening to us. They're policing themselves. Their authority is coming from themselves, and they're not listening to us. They're not listening to what we call in our communities OGs. They're not listening to the OGs. They're not listening to the neighborhood leaders. They're not listening to all the different barbers that watch these kids grow up and watch their parents and cut their uncles' head and cut their dad's
Hmm.
heads and all their cousins' heads, and they've been at these different barbershops. They're not listening to any of those people. That's why I say this this social media piece is so crazy because now, when we didn't have social media, you didn't have to worry about 1,000 people saying, "Oh, they disrespected me."
Hmm. Right.
Now I'm more upset because I got thousands of people saying that you disrespected me than just you and me seeing each other being disrespectful with each other. There's no place for retaliation and violence, period. But more so, these children, these youth are mad because you just humiliated me all over the internet. You humiliated me before all of my friends and all of these people that I'm trying to be or act tough for. So
Yep.
now I need to go and I need to make an example out of you. And it's
Yep.
all social media. I really and I can't fake like I don't like social media. I enjoy social media, but I can't even say that I wouldn't be mad if we had a 30-day shutdown or something for people to just kind of desensitize.
A reset. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like a hard reset.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think we've got to do something about that. And I can tell you this. I have been thinking about and looking at potential solutions in terms of the social media thing, because I agree with you. And I will be exploring some potential bill opportunities for the General Assembly to restrict social media access for young people under a certain age. I don't know if that age is yet, but talking
I'm
about that.
glad you said that because I was having a conversation with someone. I can't remember whether it was Faye. I cannot remember what. It was a good friend of mine. And I was saying, man, we need to, man, I was on my soapbox. I was, man, we need to cut social media off. And they said, no, we don't need to cut social media off, but we need to have a cognitive test where you can be able to log on. That way you can't fake and just you can't put, our 18, fake your birthday, but you have to actually pass a cognitive test to be able to use social media. And if you can't pass that cognitive test, we know that you are not sensible enough to use social media. So, you might have to get somebody to do it for you, but it's going to make it a lot harder.
They're just logging on.
Just logging on and getting on there yourself. Yeah. And so that's definitely one thing that, you could possibly look at bringing to the table or somewhere down the line. But yeah, a cognitive test. You need to be able to know the basics of being able
Yeah.
to properly use or be a user of social media. And if you can't do that, that's not that
We,
man. Listen, that would X out so many different rappers and stuff. I'm,
Man, it would get them all off there just about.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was definitely I said that's a brilliant idea. That's a
yeah.
brilliant
We need to explore all options at this point, man.
idea.
Because our young people are being influenced by the wrong individuals. The wrong people are having so much control over the lives of our young people, and they're headed down the wrong path. They're
I'll ask you
literally
a
doing
question.
things for likes, for likes and little love hearts and things. I mean, they're literally doing these things to see if they can get the most likes. And these
Right.
social media companies are also incentivizing them to get more likes, to get more
Mm-hmm.
views, so they
And,
can make
and
money off of doing the most absurd, craziest, ridiculous stuff, man.
humiliate themselves just to look a certain way on social media. It's crazy. But let me ask you a question. And I know how I feel about this, but how do you feel about the people that have said, we need to charge the parents when things like this happen, when some of this gun violence and different things happen? We need to start charging the parents, and maybe the kids or the youth won't do what they're doing if they know that it's going to affect their parents negatively. Do you think that's a sensible idea? I honestly feel like, like I said, you got a lot of good parents where their children just went wrong. But I wonder whether that would really press on a child not to do the wrong thing.
I personally think that is something that we need to be looking at, is holding parents accountable for what their young people are doing. Because like you said yourself, right? You said you go into your kids' rooms and you check the drawers and you're checking the social media and you're checking these things just to make sure that they're on a straight and narrow, that they're doing, what they're saying they're doing, that they're going to the places that they know that they're going. And honestly, like I said, because I know your children, I know it's paying off. Like I know it's paying off with your kids. But a lot of kids' parents aren't doing this. My parents
Yeah,
didn't do it.
right.
They just took where what it was with it, and then like I said, my parents just ignored a lot of the things, a lot of the signs that were right there in their face.
Right.
And I think if we have our parents being more involved, and we have something hanging over their head to say, what, you need to do this. I think it should be on them to prove that they have been involved in their kids' lives. They have been trying everything. They have been doing these things to show that they have been trying their best to make sure that things are happening. And the parents that need some assistance, I think they need to reach out to some of us for assistance,
Right.
and try to see how we can do that. And, I'm sure I remember you also saw that long video I had made a few months ago about being up at St. Andrews Park. I go in there on a Saturday morning and there's literally nobody in the gym. There's no kids
Right.
in the gym. There's nobody in the gym, and they're just having an event giving away free stuff to kids, and there's no kids there. And I'm thinking, like, always complain about our kids have nowhere to go, have nothing to do. And there's an empty thing basketball gym. There's an empty gym where, I mean, they're not in there hanging out, not in there playing games. Like, there's nothing going on in there. but yet when one of our kids gets shot, it's always our kids have nowhere to go and have nothing to do.
Oh
But yet I'm
man,
looking at an empty gym.
I'm telling you, and that for me has been one of my biggest issues as far as Richland County Recreation is concerned, because so many people try to place the blame on us. Oh, they don't do this. They don't have this at the gym. The children can't come in the gym. They can't free play. They can't do this. Oh, you know, we have so many opportunities that we provide in programming and availability for you, for our community to come out. And sometimes we have great attendance, but at other times there's no attendance. And
Yeah.
so, I like all this stuff that we're doing. We just partnered with DJJ. We had a great program with DJJ. I think it was earlier this year. I think it may have been July 14th. I want to say, was it July 14th? It was in June. No, it was in June. I'm sorry. It was June 14th, I believe. But we had a great program, and we do different things all of the time. But you wouldn't believe that some of these events, like you said, ain't nobody there.
Yeah.
There's nobody there, and oftentimes when things happen, we're one of the first places that people point at.
Yeah.
This not, they didn't have this available. They didn't do this, but we're doing our part. We just need for the community at large, not only the community at large, but the parents do their part. And if they need help, like you said, reach out. There are many people available. I know so many different mentoring organizations along with what we do and what we will do. Actually have revised what we're going to be going into this new year of school, just because gun violence has picked up so significantly. And so we want to make sure that we're doing our part as it relates to intervention and prevention, like I said earlier, so that we get the children before all this stuff starts happening. And we are trying to be as positive as we can, working with different principals, working with different schools. I'm reaching all to all my colleagues. I've reached out to you already. We definitely want to make sure we have a lasting impact, and we have people that the children can relate to. I don't want to just bring people that, the children be like, oh, such and such came, and they don't really have a conversation with them. They don't talk to them at their level. Because a lot of times what people don't realize when it comes to youth and when it comes to children, you got to talk over them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll never get through to them because you're talking over them. But when you talk to them at their level about school, about girls, about boys, about, grades, about what's hard, what's not hard, about this person, about peer pressure and some of the different things that they face on a daily basis, and just have a conversation like we're having, then they'll open up and they'll talk to you. And when they see that you care, when they see that you're consistent, and they see that you're concerned, they'll definitely reach out to you. So that's the moment that we're typically this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Listen, it has been great to have you on here with me today, man. Appreciate you, chopping it up with me and having this insightful conversation.
Yes,
But
sir.
before we get off here, if anybody wants to get in contact with you about anything, do you have an email or something that people can get in contact with you
Of
through?
course. Of course. I always tell people, call me, send me a text. If I don't know the number, I may not answer, but definitely, definitely text me. My number is 803-846-3175. But also email me. My email is Hamilton M. Jacobs, SR at gmail.com. That's like Hamilton M. Jacobs Senior at gmail.com. Or you can always email our foundation, Bridgeover Foundation at gmail.com, and just say, I need help. I need some assistance. I need some people to reach out and help me with my child. We both have my wife, who's going to be heading the young ladies, and then myself with our colleagues that will be taking care of the young men. But we will give you every resource that we have to help until they're successful. And also, if you just need help, whether it be in a community, whether it be a volunteering, whatever it is, definitely reach out. We'll be glad to help. So I definitely appreciate being on the show with you today. We had some great conversation. I'm looking forward to the next one. We have to do the next one out fishing. And
Yeah. We do the next
yeah,
one on the lake.
yeah, the next one there. And but no, I definitely appreciate you. Um, I appreciate Jermaine Johnson, a person, not a representative or a doctor, but just a person. You're a great brother, man, and I appreciate everything that you do. Keep doing what you're doing. I see you do wonderful things, and the sky's the limit.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you,
Yes,
man.
sir.
And listeners, we have an opportunity to create more young leaders, like in Mr. Jacobs out here. And we need more of us. We need more getting out here. We've got a lot of us, but we need more. We need more. It's never enough. So again, I want to thank you all for listening, for watching today, for tuning in. This is the Jermaine Johnson Show, brought to you by The Arena. Please like, share, subscribe, tag your friends, get everybody out here, because we need all hands on deck to solve some of these community problems. So again, thank you so much, and look forward to talking to you again in about a week or so.